All right, Jake, and you're live.
Good morning, everyone. This is AutismBC Goes, and today I'd like to welcome our guest, Rose Poon, who will be doing a presentation called Storytelling the Cartoon Art of Rose. Rose is a Chinese-Canadian illustrator and cartoonist whose childhood love of Scooby-Doo, Garfield, Snoopy, and Japanese animation inspired her to become an artist. Rose went on to study computer graphics in Vancouver and received a college certificate upon completion. Rose is a stunningly talented artist whose abilities include digital and watercolor paintings, visual comic storytelling, gift basket making, gift wrapping, and homemade textiles. Rose has received several prestigious awards and contracts for her work. Rose has lived with a mental health condition of schizophrenia for over 20 plus years. In the past year, she's faced many challenges in her personal and also in her work life. Despite living with a mental health condition, drawing cartoons seems to help her mind and soul stay happy and focused. The focus is on her being in her world where she is going her own way. Rose is interested in maintaining good mental health and finds inspiration in animal welfare, the world of nature, and children. So, with that, Rose, thank you so much for being here, and I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Let me just click on share. Okay. Jake and Brock, can you see the my name on it? Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Hi, thank you, Jake, for a lovely presentation, and thank you, Brock and AutismBC. And thank you, my virtual audience, for joining us to this today's segment. And more importantly, this event cannot happen without you all. Hi, I am Rose. Nice to meet you virtually. So I have this. To begin my presentation, I like to show you this illustration. Let me just go to this one. There you go. Okay. This piece I did, I like to go with this piece first to welcome you to my presentation. And this piece is inspired by the pop colors of fall. I thought this would be a good idea to somehow lift your spirit up before I show you more of my work. And so a little bit more about myself and why I decided to do storytelling. And so I am a Chinese Canadian who came with my parents, my brother, to Vancouver from Hong Kong when I was a teenager. And when I was little, I had a huge and still have an interest in storytelling. And I had watched many great stories, mainly from television, movies, and also storybooks. So I would like, as a little kid, I would mimic like what I read and what I watch on TV, or I would take maybe create my own stories. And what I would do is I would doodle on empty, unused notebooks. And I would just doodle and narrate at the same time, just pretend that I was on television. And I basically go from every day, like I do it almost like every day, because I watch like almost television. I read storybooks every other day, and I read a lot of comic books. And when I came to Canada, I came across like writing in high school. I really like writing short narrative story a lot. And so I find that very fun. In English class, I really like that a lot. And I still continue doing it till now. Um, and and also like I would I do a lot of journaling, and sometimes I use writing. I write application for, let's say, art events. And with my mental health condition, I find it very useful because it is very therapeutic, I find. And so I find it's just very helpful. And a few years back, I co-wrote an article with a professional editor about my personal experiences. And that was a great feeling. I felt really good afterward. So speaking of like uh, improving my mental health, I have a very important piece to share with you. It's about how I got better. And I have to thank like my specialists and also some mental health professionals. They gave very useful medical advice to my parents at a seminar. And the advice was to change the environment that I was living in. And so, because in the early stages of my condition, I withdrew a lot to myself and isolated socially. So after a while, I thought, well, up to that point, I didn't see really it was any it's pointless to continue on living in isolation. So I decided to accept change. So what my parents did, they took me back to Hong Kong on a trip. And after I came back, I felt so much better. And so from that on, I had this urge to go on a quest to find good things to improve my life and my mental health condition. And so I have a few illustrations to show you. And the stories are the things that, in the illustrations, are the things that have happened to my life. And I like to share them with you. So I start with this one. Okay. So this is a self-portrait of myself eating delicious dinner. The food was cooked by my mom, and she loves to cook Chinese and Malaysian food. I'm very blessed to have food put on the table, kitchen table every day to keep me healthy and strong. And on the table is some Chinese food. There are homemade BBQ, mincemeat, and tofu, and fried chicken. They were very, very yummy. And if you look long and hard, you might be able to smell them from where you are. And same as my mom, I love food too. I took cooking program and learned the basics of cooking. Eventually, I found a few food service jobs at a few grocery stores because I thought they could be fun adventure for me. And yes, they were, although a lot of hard work. And I made some money as well, so that was a plus. When I wore my cook uniform and hat, I felt proud. I was part of a well-known team in the culinary industry. And I find that cooking is a practical survival skill to have at home. I still am trying out a few new recipes found online, and also am picking up new cooking tricks from my mom. So we spent a lot of time in the kitchen together, especially during the pandemics. that has brought us closer together. So next on to this is a fun illustration I did. So it's a drawing of a turtle with a human head. So what it's all about is learning to spell the word schizophrenia. It's not easy. I did not know about my mental illness back then. I know now how to spell because I am one. I had also by now gotten the right diagnosis and medication. So my mental illness stayed stabilized. That was about 10 plus years ago. I admire a turtle with its shell. If I were a turtle, that is what I would feel. When things go wrong, I can hide in my turtle shell. Very affordable housing. So that's very helpful. And the next few slides, I'm going to show you my favorite illustrations. Um, they're drawings of dogs. So I'm going to switch to this. So this is a drawing of a dog being bathed by a kid. So what this is I have shown an interest in dogs ever since I was young. I discovered a magical and sweetest relationship with dogs right after I worked as a dog washer at a grooming shop for several years. My dream of being with dogs came true. Although the nature of the job is wet and hard work, I feel pretty happy to see dogs every day. They make me feel welcome. The cute dogs like to have their paws jump up to the gate and their tongues panting. They're not noisy, but are amazingly well behaved and all lie down quietly on the floor to nap. I find dogs are comforting and soothing to my mind. They don't criticize or complain, but they're friendly to me and know I am kind. I feel great and can forget about my disability. When I'm calm, the dogs can pick that up. This is the reason why dogs love following behind me. The dogs too find comfort and acknowledge my sincere love and care for them. There was one dog that tossed himself over to the side of my leg and laid down comfortably next to me while I was bathing another dog. Most dogs enjoy my bath. I got a lot of licks as a way for them to say thank you to me. So after the bath, I take them out for a brief bathroom break. They love being outside. So I'm gonna show you while I talk. This is
Rose, we
another.
have a question for you. Do you mind
Oh,
taking a question?
oh yeah, I can take it. What was the question?
TJ says, do you feel that when you tell stories, people only want you to tell happy stories? Because he says that there's a lot of, my story that is not happy, and I find people don't listen.
Oh, um, well, let me think. Um, that can be a very uh, difficult question to answer. I would say, you know, sometimes it's like um, when I tell a story, I usually like to uh, give them like not only like what happened to you, but it's also important to also tell what happened afterward. Like if you had a bad accident, and then if you could tell like, okay, what happened to you afterward? Like what happened? I think sometimes people like to hear not only like happy stories, but also stories that can be unfortunate too. But if you tell like the ending, whether or not it will lead to a good ending or not. um, I think I would tell the complete stories, um, because we're humans, right? We understand. Sometimes myself, I also go through bad times too, but I always like to tell like the something something at the end, like what happened to you after maybe you had a car accident. You tell the story, you tell the place, who rescued you and what happened, what did you learn from that experience. So maybe that will help the reader to get a sense of, to get a complete sense of what really happened. If you try that, I think that will be much very helpful. Any other stories? I mean, it's a question.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to show you this comic strip about a magic show. So I'll let you look at it while you continue listen to my story. So I was, okay, after the bath, I take them out for a brief bathroom break. They love being outside. When they see a squirrel running past them, they will go after it. They roll on the grass lawn, they dig up the yard. I wondered, what is it about dogs that they do what they do? After we come back, I dry their hair using a grooming commercial dryer and then do brushing on their hair. Sometimes a dog will rest their chin on my shoulder while I'm brushing out their hair. They are satisfied and happy with my work. And before I show you the next slide, I want to ask you, um, have you, I just want to ask if you have seen when a dog is feeling happy. So this is what a happy dog looks like. So this is a dog jumping over the dog. Now, you kind of wonder why the dog is feeling very happy. Well, first of all, he's he probably is well loved, and he probably had a nice groom, or even like he was very well fed. So he must had a very good meal um, in between. So dogs really have a very fascinating behavior. They use like physical gesture to express their emotion, their feelings. So this one, I saw it when I was working at the grooming shop. So I thought I'd share with you. And the next one I have for you is this one. It's two dogs riding a scooter. It is a ride to hope. The early stages of my mental illness were like going on a roller coaster ride. I experienced highs and lows. With a little hard work, faith, and determination, my mental health condition has improved a lot. Now I'm living well with my mental illness. My life now is described as riding a scooter in the summer breeze in a beautiful, wonderful countryside. And I feel hopeful and grateful that the dogs have shown up in my life. Dogs and I work well together. I feel free when I'm around them. And even when I was rendering this illustration, I felt really happy and free. And, going through so many struggles with my mental illness condition, um, I felt like I was climbing, uh, like a very steep mountain. And sometimes I felt really like a struggle, like, and it has been a very long struggle. In the beginning, I was experiencing like hearing voices, and sometimes that could really disturb me with my sleep, with my well-being. So I very much, especially personal struggle and also struggle at work too, trying to get along with people at work. And so there have been so many challenges, and I was able to overcome that. I'm so happy that I had my family, and also I made few friends along the way. And so, and sometimes having challenges, I find now it's actually can be very beneficial, and especially, um, you know, they have brought strength to me as an artist, and also to my work too. So it's very nice to feel free at last. So I'm feeling very grateful. And the other thing I like to thank is God. And this other piece is definitely inspired by that. And let me show you. This is the doggy Jesus and his doggy disciples uh, at their first dinner buffet. So I was never religious before my mental health diagnosis. I believe I found God and Jesus later in life. My parents encouraged me to ask God to help heal my mental illness. Ever since I accepted God into my life has gotten better. I have friends, family, and doctors for support and life direction. I approach every day with optimism. As a result, I have the confidence and courage to move forward in life. I am willing to take the challenge without ever backing out because of failure, but have continued to keep trying to take risks to gain success. Um, I was very afraid of risks actually when I was little, even up to my high school and college years. But I think like when um, when you go through like so many tough moments, tough challenges, you kind of it almost like strengthen you as you go. And so now I'm kind of liking risks. So so as a result, I have become a more resilient person I am today. When I get stuck and nothing seems to work out, I'm willing to keep going, to keep on going through setbacks with the help of God and Jesus on my side. And we are a team, God, Jesus, and me. And that same goes to for the dogs. With the right environment and good temperament, the dogs can be optimistic too. The dogs are my friends who help me a great deal. We both actually love buffet food very much. They Dogs really love the word buffet a lot. Food, they always love food. So and I remember when I was still working at the dog grooming shop, the dogs like gathering around me at the gate and sniffing my lunch bag as I entered the gate. I felt very happy then, and even just now thinking about it. So they understand the word buffet very well. And yeah, and I think of them every day. Yeah. And the next one I'm going to show you is something that we have at home in our backyard. And here we go. This is a drawing of our fig tree. And we actually love this fig tree. I think it has grown really huge right now. Did you know that the fig tree grows the fruits before the leaves come out? It does not produce flowers. It is, let me see, it is so unique and beautiful that I sketch it for my summer creative endeavor. People in our neighborhood love the tree too. During harvest time, which is usually happen in July and August, my mom picked them off the ripening figs and put them in a basket. We then gave some to our neighbors. Now, the squirrels in our area are always welcome as our guests to have a share of the fruits. We let them eat and enjoy our figs. As you can see, our figs are green in color. Sometimes, if we are lucky, we can get nearly about 100 of them during harvest time. Summertime is busy for us with fig picking. Once it is over, we'll have to wait for another year. We can still enjoy these well-loved figs that are available in our local grocery stores. And uh, other times when we don't have figs, um, I myself actually like to go to the supermarket and get one of those really uh, cookies. I think we all know by the Newton fig cookies. They're if they're really sweet. Um, so I eat them like sparingly. I prefer to eat them fresh, like organic, out from our garden. So other times, like I eat figs, as snack. Um, and I like I can eat them all year long. It just and during summertime, like we have the luxurious to enjoy the figs a lot. So it's really I find fresh figs are more. It's it's natural. It has natural sweetness to it. It's good for you. They have loads and loads of nutrients, so they're very good. Um, we actually lucky to have them because they're quite pricey in the supermarket too. So we're pretty fortunate. And okay, so the next one I'm going to show you, I'm going to ask you a quick question like, how do you feel about squirrels that we're moving to something natural? So here's a, a painting of squirrel. This is actually squirrel dancing. And I created the illustration, which came after I watched an old movie called Singing in the Rain, starring Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds. The movie is great, especially watching people sing and dance. I do dance too. Dancing supposedly will bring a flow of blood to your brain. It will make you smarter, according to research. I enjoy watching the squirrels hopping beautifully in our neighborhood. Um, their bushy tails are interesting. They're just like a Swiss Army knife. And what they do is they help to balance when their feet landed on the ground. So, and also, they keep them warm during winter months. Um, so so it's very, very useful. It's like a blanket to keep them warm during winter months. When they're not hopping through your lawn or backyard, they do fly. I've seen them fly like from one tree to another tree. So it's yeah, I don't know if you've seen them in Vancouver, but I saw them actually in my area. So I saw them like jump from one branch to another tree branch, and that's actually our main problem too, because um, they beside our house there is a tree, and they figure out a way to jump from the one tree branch to on our rooftop. So that could cause a problem, especially like at night. And there's one squirrel. They had awakened up us like late in the night, and they were making scratching sound, maybe up above our ceiling, and that really disturbed our sleep. So we actually monitor like on a daily basis and figure how can we solve this problem. So my dad figured it out and found and blocked the passageway, and so somehow now it helped a lot because it was really causing a lot of problems, lots of noises. And now I'm very glad, like even looking up our ceiling and above our ceiling, um, I hear no noises. So lately we have it helps with our sleep. So we're very, very happy and very glad, and hopefully it will keep it that way for a long, long time. So here's another illustration. Ah, now this one is, I don't know if you remember. This is I do series. I thought it would be fun to do series. So this is a doggy Jesus driving a car. If you can remember the one I showed you earlier, this one, the doggy Jesus and his disciples having their first dinner table. You see in the middle, this guy, uh, he's doggy Jesus. And now he has appeared now inside a car, driving a car. So I finished this illustration in the same year as Volkswagen had announced to stop producing the beloved Beetle model just last year of 2019. I created this illustration because I wanted to capture and preserve these wonderful and happy memories of riding in our family car, Beetle car, when I was a little kid. My family and I enjoy going to a weekend getaway to a mountain resort regularly in our Beetle car. Our car made a few frequent stops along the mountain roadsides because the car got too hot. The car's engine made a funny noise like duck, 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 and it spewed out steam as well. In the end, we got to the very top of the mountain. That's about 3,000 feet high level. We, including the car, were very happy for making that far to our destination. And we say, hip, hip, hooray. Now, looking back now, I feel pretty lucky to have the opportunity to ride in one of the most famous cars on this earth. Okay, and I will go to the next one. Okay. And as you can see, there's another doggy Jesus also. Now I put him on a boat. So we travel quite a bit. That would be really fun. So this is called Doggy Tanic, and it is a piece that I created purely from my imagination. I was inspired to create this illustration by the real ship called the Titanic. I enjoyed that movie very much that I decided to create my own. So Doggy Titanic was born. Doggy Titanic is the dog ship to the granddaddy ship Titanic. Doggy Titanic, a small fisherman boat, like the Titanic, is an unsinkable boat too. The Doggy Titanic got its name, the unsinkable, because of one passenger. He was Doggy Jesus. Even with a big storm and its rough water, Doggy Jesus remained calm the entire time while lying down on the deck of the boat, um, with less worrying about it being on the verge of sinking. When I go outside in the real world, now of course I come face to face with adversity. Um, and what I've learned in Sunday school, um, you always, when you have face any problem, first thing you call is God and Jesus. So I invited the real Jesus to my boat and pray for his guidance. Now he has taught me to be calm, patient, and be compassionate with myself so I can live the way I would like to live it in. He is right. I'm more relaxed now than I used to be back then as a very frustrated um, and yeah, than a very frustrated person. I need to remember to be open-minded and have a sincere heart. So I can, this is a wave, a big wave. So I feel like sometimes life we experience rough. It may not be going our way. So it's important to like learn to be to how to learn to be calm, how to enjoy, how to relax, and how to actually have fun when you're experiencing like time. I know sometimes we get really nervous and really frustrated and have fear. And I guess like back in those days, I had feelings of fear too. I would fear a lot because that's normal. And after I have accepted Jesus in my life, things have changed. So I'm more relaxed and not frustrated anymore. So that's very, very helpful. So that is the end of my illustration part. And then I will go to my comics strip section. And I will start here. Okay. I start with this one. Okay. And before I do that, let me have a sip of water for my voice. And you too can. Feel free to grab anything you like. I know it's an hour long, so I hope you still are enjoying it so far. So I do comic strips too. I first started reading comic books when I was a kid. I love going to the newspaper vendor stand that is on every corner of the street in Hong Kong. They're paperback comic books, usually printed in black and white, tend to be less expensive. Um, the newspaper stand was like a candy store to me. They're much more uh, like cost friendly because at that time I didn't have a lot of allowance. So and luckily my mom was very open, and sometimes she bought like comic books for me at the vendor stand. So that was very, very helpful. And I ended up actually owning several books, um, like the very well-known Old Master Q in Hong Kong. Old Master Q is very famous in the Asian countries. Even my dad knows Master Q. He read like when he was a teenager. So it's been a while, you know, and so it's a very funny comic book, and they have movies and also TV episode too. They're very, very fun to watch. Um, and I also own some Japanese anime too. Japanese anime books tend to be very expensive, so I had a few of them. I didn't have a lot. I only bought some because like I love those characters, and I could kind of copy what's on the comic books. So I still have them actually right now. Let me show you another one. Later, after coming to Vancouver, my dad subscribed to local newspapers. And that's, I guess, how I discover newspaper comics. Um, my favorites are Snoopy, Garfield, Fred Bassett, Family Circle, and The Other Coast, to name a few. And because I have been reading quite a lot, I have always wanted to be like those professionals. I thought it would be a fun adventure to do comic strips because it is fun to do, but it can be challenging at the same time to tell a short story in 3-panel frames. And so in comic strips, I'm mostly self-taught. I actually primarily I am self-taught. I'm a self-taught cartoonist. Um, I, as a little kid, I sort of like taught myself to do it. I didn't know whether I was doing it right or not. And a few years back, I actually took a course, actually. It's a graphic novel. So that helped me quite a bit. And also um, I did a few like I cartoons for a local like a newsletter group, and it's called the West Coast Mental Health Network Society in Vancouver. Um, my comic strips were regularly published in their new networker, they call it, and from there I learned a lot from the professional editor. So I worked with the editor a lot for a number of years. Um, and what I've learned actually a lot from how the layout, and also she corrected my text and taught me how to make the text look more presentable. And so for my part, I love the drawing also. The drawing usually comes first, and next, obviously, the text comes later. And so um, unfortunately, like the West Coast Mental Health Network Society closed down due to lack of funding, but I still continue doing comic strip too. So they had also featured in an online magazine in Toronto for for several years too. And let me show you. Let's see. So a little bit about my comic strip. As you have seen so far, um, I named this comic strip Little Ming Ming. There are two main characters mostly in the strip that are Ming Ming and Ming Zhong. Yes, the characters' names are in Chinese because I thought it would be funny, fun, and would preserve my Chinese heritage. And let's see. Okay. So the story is about a little girl named Ming Ming, who likes to hang out with her furry buddy named Ming Zhong, a koala bear, living their daily lives together. So mostly the themes are about mental health topics. And I find that visual comics is a friendlier approach and less intensive to tell about mental health when educating people in general. Most people that are young and old love comics because there's no prerequisite to read them. And also it's less text, so it's not as sound so serious, and people enjoy more, and they can look at the picture, and it doesn't take that long to read. So it's really a fun thing to read and to educate about my personal experience. They all actually are things that happen in my life, and I thought it would be a fun way to share in comic strips. And since I love them very much, might as well do it in the form that I always like to do. So I'm just going to keep on showing. Let me see. Okay. So, Jake, do you have
Yes?
any more? Do you see any more questions? I can take some questions if you have any questions.
No, not at the
Oh,
moment, but I'll let you know.
okay, okay. So I will continue on. Yeah, so this the koala bear that you're seeing is called Ming Zhong. So it's really fun. I like to draw animals too. Um, I have a love of animals since at a very young age, and as you have seen my previous artwork, you see a lot of dogs. Now, a lot that you see koala bears. So a little bit about uh, my first encounter with dogs. So when I was little, like my one of our family friend dropped by and gave us a German Shepherd puppy, and so that's how I began my first interaction with animals, which was dogs. So I love, and here you see a dog come in rescue too. So I just want to say that in this comics, it's dogs are my heroes, and they help me to overcome my fear. They are there to protect me. So I really, I find I'm just glad that dogs appear in my life. So yeah. So in here I showed also like,
Oh, Rose, we
yeah.
have 2 questions for you. If
Oh,
are you okay to take those?
yeah, I'm okay to take.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, we had one question which was, what are your favorite 2 anime artists? And the second one was, where do you find your inspiration for your art?
Oh, okay. I have a lot of um anime artists because I grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s. So it's, I would say, a lot. Um, Let me see. I don't know if any viewers know. It's I love. I don't know if anyone knows Doctor Slump. I love that comics, anime comics, and also like any adventurous type. Um, let's say um, the it's called the Train Express 999, and that one I really really like. Uh, I never got to see that movie though, because at the time that's when we immigrated to Canada, so I kind of missed that movie in Hong Kong. So I really like that a lot. Um, and what else? Um, and also, I guess I watch a lot of like life drama, like movies. I love the adventurous type, like let's say anything that's either there is adventure in it, like The Sound of Music, or even James Bond, or the what Indiana Jones. I watch a lot of those movies, and I watch a lot of American cartoons. So that had actually got me um, to start drawing in the beginning. I watch a lot of like Chinese movies a lot. So I find um, that, yeah, that actually pushed me to even pick up the pencil um, to doodle and to draw. So a lot influences from, I watch a lot, like almost like every day, like when I was little in Hong Kong. So you can imagine I drew a lot, like almost every day for a couple hours. Uh, and I did well actually when I entered high school in Hong Kong, because I made sure that I finished my homework and study for my exam, and so that I can enjoy more, and so that I can do more drawings. So and yeah. And any more question, Jake?
Nope, not right now. I'll let you know.
Okay. So I will continue on, let's say, this one. Yeah. This piece, I entered this for a competition, and it was selected. Um, as one of the winner, and it's called a silent cartoon story. So let me see if I can show you. There we go. Okay. And I don't know if it shows really well. This is a gouache watercolor painting. And this one I did it differently. Instead of putting a word bubble, um, I then made it into like just a wording underneath the drawing, so that it shows what the theme is meant, like a silent cartoon story. So it's I got this idea from like watching a lot of old movies, like the silent movie, and I love watching Charles Chaplin. So that's how I got the inspiration from. And then so I did this piece, and I got this 2 awards actually, one from in Alberta and one from here, Vancouver. So they seem to like this piece a lot. So I thought I'd better show it to you too. So it's a 6-panel. I seldom do 6 panels. I usually do 3 panels. This one is, I thought I do it for fun. So, and let me show you the next one. This one. So this is the little girl called Ming Ming. This actually, when I was really, really sick, and when I was in the hospital, yeah, I had a few hospital visit. So when I was really, really sick, so I just thought I show you this today, and
Rose,
taking, yeah.
we have one more question for you, and then we have to wrap it up. Yeah, you're doing so great and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, but just for a last question, do you find that your work has a lot of self-expression as a person with a diverse ability? Is that on purpose?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah. Do you find that your work has a lot of self-expression as a person with a diverse ability? So was that on purpose, or is that something where it just happens to be a part of the work that you do? So do you bring like a lot of your disability or your
Mm.
challenges into your work?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, when I joined the West Coast Network Society, it's the newsletter is mainly about it. They use mental health topics a lot, and so I then had to kind of think about mental health. So that's how it moved me towards that topic a lot. And personally, I have experienced mental health problems. So I thought it would be very important to share my side, so that people know. It's important to know that your side of the story, and not also use as an inspiration, but also to let people know how you are doing. So that in fact is my main focus. And that's what I like about doing for the West Coast Network Society. It's like I have a focus, and that's the target that I'll be aiming for. And so I thought um, that's what I like about like having focus in work, that you have to have something that you focus on. So the focus is very, very important um, in anything that you do. Um, that's why I love what I do, and I keep continuing doing it. And so it's it's very beneficial, especially like um, you know um, yeah, you spending your time like focusing on the work, your mental health being, and also like uh, what really work, and I put all of them actually in my work, uh, and it's very important um, that so far I've seen myself improve a lot along the way, and also I learned to uh, care about myself, and also I like to care for the people around me, um, my viewers, my family, my friends, and so it's I feel like really proud I can contribute my talent to society. So that's very important, having focus, um, whether or not you have an illness or not. Any more question?
No other questions, but yeah, I'm wondering if yeah, you maybe want to show one more slide, and then we'll have
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
You're doing great though.
Okay. So I think I have a few more slides. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Just a couple more slides, and that would be the end. So, okay. Okay. So I think this is the last one. Okay. That's the last one. Any more questions coming up on your screen, Jake?
No questions at this point.
Oh, okay. So I let people to just finish reading this. This is the last piece. So this is actually I don't know. I went to watch the what's that Vancouver Aquarium and the 4D experience. So I had a lot of fun. Never seen such um, a great movie. Actually, it was a quick, short movie. from Brock to what are your favorite two animals? Oh. Hello, Jake?
Hello, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last comic strip was on my file. So any more questions regarding my art?
No, we
Do you
didn't
see?
receive any, but we really want to thank you so much though for coming on Autism BC Goes and for sharing your story through your really amazing artwork. And
Thank you.
it was really great to hear and I think especially for people on the spectrum who are visual learners. I think you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
It's a really great way to be able to tell your story and to express how you feel and your attitudes about life and but we've really enjoyed having you and I wish we had more time. I wish we could maybe go on for another half hour, but
Yeah.
but thank you so much. And
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Thank you to everybody out there too for watching. And if you missed a part of it, you can probably watch it later on social media or on. So with that, thank you so much, everybody, and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Jake, and thank you, Brock, for letting me on this segment. Yeah, I appreciate it very much.
Glad to have you.
And have yourself a good day, and everyone too.